the Desert Tiger Podcast.
How you doing, brother?
I'm fantastic. How are you today?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad.
Glad to hear. Glad to hear. All right.
Professional boot. You got professional mic set up there?
Trying to. My apartment's got a wicked echo, so I've actually got like a bed sheet taped to the ceiling right now. So
yeah, just give me what mic have you got?
A Rode NT1A.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. What used to be a little tiny snowball. So this year I finally made the jump to something that's actually a little more professional.
Does the job, eh?
It's more than doing the job now. I'm actually really, really loving the upgrade. It's nice because it also allows me to record some of my own music in the near future too. So
amazing. How's that going?
Got beats back from a producer recently, just working on vocals right now.
Sick.
Yeah. But of course, we're not here to talk about my music today. We're here to talk about your music today. So are you ready to jump on?
Yeah, whereabouts in Canada are you?
I'm in Kamloops, British Columbia right now.
Okay, decent. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
What's the weather saying? What's the weather like?
It is absolutely gorgeous today. The sun is shining nice and bright. Of course, I've got it blocked off, but as you can see, it's kind of coming in like through there. So, where are you and how are things where you're located?
I'm in Antwerp in Belgium, and the sun is shining. It's actually ridiculously hot for this time of year, so just kind of got the windows open and enjoying the sunshine.
Nice. Getting a nice cool breeze while you're sitting and talking to the media, hey?
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're here to talk a little bit about some new music from your part, an announced tour, and a whole bunch of other exciting news. Are you ready to jump on into it?
For sure.
Fantastic. All right. So, of course, I know that your guys' last album released at the tail end of 2018. You guys went on a really big touring run afterwards. So when exactly did you start writing this new music, specifically this new single, Keep Moving?
Yeah, I think ultimately it was started just after we stopped touring. I mean, I think early 2019 we did a little session in LA, and some ideas kind of came about from that. And then Keep Moving was end of 2019. The idea kind of came around, but it was worked on for a while. We did quite a few versions of that one. We just had that hook, that bum 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 thing going on. I was like, is it this version? You know what it's like with a song. It's you got to keep kind of experimenting until you find the magic.
Mm-hmm. You have to keep giving every option a possibility, where it's like, okay, so if we move this just slightly, does that increase things? Let's listen to it like 20 different times to see.
Yeah, it's like a blessing and a curse, that though, really. Like, I know Rick Rubin always talks about, like, finding all the possible ways, but I've heard other producers and most recently I've been trying to do things a lot more like you just accept what happens the first time and you just let that be the thing. Because I think sometimes when you open the can of options, it's like you lose all perspective and you're like, well, it could be anything, Literally, the hi-hat could be here, the hi-hat could be here. That's just like, oh.
Start to overthink, lose a little bit of the honesty that the song maybe once had.
For sure. I mean, I always think that about big pop songs, like I wish, those overcooked things. I wish I could hear the demos of a lot of those. I bet they're amazing.
Oh, absolutely. So what exact energy were you trying to capture? What honesty were you capturing with Keep Moving?
Yeah, I suppose Keep Moving was I suppose it came out of a little session that I did in back garden of my house. We built a little studio and just kind of came up with that. It was a lot slower and it had this hook, bum 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 bum, and the words keep moving, and kind of developed it on from there. And we did a big session at the Church Studios, which is a place that Paul Epworth owns, who produced Adele Rolling in the Deep. So he's got this big Church Studios. So we got in there for a week and we recorded loads of little parts, and we got like a load of friends in and did like these big kind of like group vocals, which we had always been wanting to do. And eventually kind of we had all these like little samples of hooks, and then we started kind of remaking it and putting the track together like that. So it was kind of a collage.
Okay, so that was the first time you actually did a full-on like symphonic group vocal then?
For sure, yeah. I mean, it's the first time we've been able to. Like the first album, it was just me and T in our bedroom on the microphone. So it was like stacking up the vocals to kind of feel that thing. You know, Jungle's always been about the group vocal. It's always been like what we wanted to do, and actually being able to get loads of people in to achieve that sound. When you hear it sonically, you're like, geez, you know, it's like super powerful when you hear it. And it was only like a concept before, so yeah, we're super excited about it.
Yeah, I love how it sort of creates a wall of sound with the lyrics there. And like, even when it just comes in off the start and it rises with the song as it continues to build. I really love that.
Thanks, man. It's yeah. I think when we first heard it as well and heard the power of that, it was like, okay, yeah, cool. It's got kind of a big vibe.
Awesome, awesome. And of course, you recently released this single, and the same day you released a music video as well, which continues the theme of creating that storytelling through dance is too. And I know that you have a hand inside of the video creating elements. So take us behind this video shoot. What was it like? What were the sort of ideas you were trying to capture with that? And how does it relate to the song?
Yes, so I mean, ultimately with the record, it was very much, you know, the theme of the record was to very much capture the moment of when things happened and not overthink them and just roll with that first initial vibe or the thing that you first get excited about, the thing you like makes you jump out of your seat. And with the videos, you know, we wanted to like do them in a very kind of condensed period. So we had this idea, okay, well, why don't we do a visual for every track on the album? And basically, you know, we cast a bunch of great dancers. And obviously because of COVID, we were lucky because some of these amazing dancers who are usually on tour with these like world-class acts were actually in London. And so we got like the cream of the crop really in terms of casting. And we kind of built this thing, which in our head was like a bit like West Side Story, like the group of boys and the group of girls. And they're just dancing basically and doing their thing. We had these great choreographers. So we shot 3 a day, which was, I thought was just not possible really. And it turned out that we could, if you cut all the faffing and all the overthinking, you know, you basically got 2 hours to shoot each one. And it's kind of like a one take vibe. So it's like just filming the action as it happens, as if it was theatre. So they rehearse for a week. We rehearse 14 tracks in a week, and then we get on set. We do 5 days, and basically got 2 hours. So it was a bit nerve wracking because once you overhit that 2 hours, you're like, oh, it's lunch, and you got the assistant director being like, it's lunch penalties, and I'm like, oh my god, you know, like we can't cut to lunch. We ain't got it, you know. So you know, we were lucky enough to, you know, work with such amazing people that we did get everyone in the can. So happy
Wow.
days, eh?
Yeah, I can imagine with what you said, filming 3 videos a day for 5 days straight. That's incredible. So, when they were rehearsing everything, did you have a chance to come in to view everything to see it beforehand? Did they send you a video or anything, or did they just show up and like, boom, here you go?
Yeah, well, I think it's weird. I think that the most important thing is sometimes not to get in the way of magic when it's happening. And I think, you know, there are little bits and pieces which are like, oh, maybe this could be this, but ultimately you have to just like let the choreographers and the dancers do their work. That they know it better than me. They like, that's what they do for a living. Like I'm like, maybe you should dance like this, and they're like, you know, we've only really got a sense of whether it feels good to watch, you know, and that's the sort of director's job, is to just to make sure it feels good to watch.
Okay, okay, fantastic. So, one thing that I know that with this transition into this new world that you're building this time around is that you guys started your own label. So, what sort of freedoms did that allow you to have with this creation process?
Well, obviously, like for us, you know, we did our first 2 records with XL, which was, you know, an amazing thing because they're a great label, and for the launch of a project, it's really, 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 really necessary. But I suppose it gets to a point where, you know, like being an independent artist is probably the best thing in the world, because you can just do what you want to do creatively, and there's nobody telling you what you should or shouldn't do. And I think that like it's incredibly freeing in some way. You know, there's nobody asking like, where's the single, or like where's the big song, you know, or this ain't gonna get on radio, or, you know, all the classic things that you kind of hear from A&Rs. And I think ever since, like, people like Chance the Rapper and stuff came around and was just like, I can win Grammys without being signed, then everyone's like, oh yeah, well maybe unsigned is like, doing your own thing is the way to go. And ultimately, like, labels are like, they're banks. So it's kind of better not to be indebted to the bank, I'd say.
Fair. Very, very fair. I can understand that for sure. And of course, once again, it probably allows that more creative honesty where if you guys aren't overthinking things, then you also don't have that other party that's maybe sending things back to you, also telling you to like, hey, can you redo this?
For sure. I think it's like, it's just more honest artistic expression, because you have to trust yourself. There's nobody that like you're trying to hand your homework into, or like be like, is this good enough? It's on my head or Tom's head whether it's good enough, and I think that just gives us a whole new level of freedom to it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And of course, you mentioned that you can have success as a single artist. So you guys have already gone ahead and proved that with this first single, having it debuted on Annie Mac's Hottest Track in the World, having it already break 1,000 or 1 million streams on Spotify and YouTube already. So what is it like to have this new project, already seeing it being embraced by the fans?
Well, I think it's we're incredibly lucky to have that response. You never really expect it. So, but ultimately, I think it comes down to the confidence, and like the confidence of the music, and the confidence of how we feel, and we feel releasing it. And I think if you're confident with stuff, it translates. And like, I feel this is the most confident we've ever been with Jungle. So, I'm excited for people to hear the rest of the record.
Awesome. And I'm sure they can't wait either. Absolutely. And of course, one thing that I'm sure a lot of people can't wait for as well is the fact that Jungle has announced upcoming tour dates, a couple in the UK in September, and of course a tour of North America in October of 2021 with 2 dates in Canada as well. So how exciting is it to know that you might be able to get back on the road very, very soon here? And then how are you translating this world that you're building into the live show for those of us who maybe haven't seen a Jungle or have seen Jungle before?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's kind of had a tough year, regardless of, what situation you're in. I think it's something that's kind of brought us all together in some way, but also, affected all our mental health. But like, hopefully the sooner we can get back to it, and the sooner we can get back to some sense of normality, the healthier we will all be. I believe in community, and I believe in, people and social skills. Like, I think if we can, get back to playing some shows this year, that would be amazing. And I think we're pretty confident that we can get back on the road in October, especially in Canada.
Fantastic. And hopefully I'll be able to make my way across Canada to be in one of those crowds myself, because that would be epic.
I hope to see that too.
Awesome. So you mentioned there's more videos on the way and otherwise. So without giving too much away for the upcoming album, when can we possibly expect a little bit more Jungle inside of our lives?
I think there's a new track probably coming in a month or so. I'm not entirely sure, but like, I think there's going to be a couple tracks before the album, and the album's out on the 13th of August worldwide. It's called Lovin' in Stereo, and there's definitely a whole bunch of new stuff coming out before then.
All right, awesome. Well, then fans should definitely keep their eyes peeled on your YouTube channel as well as your social media outlets, so that they can know when those come. So
for sure,
Josh, I have one last question. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, it's built up now. Go on.
No worries. So we have discussed the growth of Jungle, becoming independent artists, growing into this new single, this new track, building this new world. What I really want to know now, though, is how has this last few years, this process, how has it helped you grow as a human being, or what has it helped you learn about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think it's a bit of a deep question, but everything to me is about letting go, you know. And I think that the more you let go of things in life and just sort of have this like weightlessness and this freedom, the easier things get. You know, it's always the path of least resistance is the best way in life. And I think Bruce Lee once said, you know, got to be like water. You know, it always finds a way to make its way down. So, you know, my advice to anybody else is just sort of let go and stop resisting the things that are causing resistance in your life. And that sort of helps. You know, anytime I come across any challenges and stuff, I kind of just go, hang on, what am I resisting here? Or like, why is this difficult? And then you just go, you know what, like, it's not worth it, let it go. And then you just move on and everything's a lot lighter. So I think that applies very much for music. Like if you're making music and like you're trying too hard, you know, at the end of the day, it ain't that deep. You know, you just got to have fun doing it. And I think that over this process, over this record, like it was fun and we wanted to have fun. And I think that's what it sounds like.
Well, and that's it. Is sometimes you just have to take control of what is within your control, and then certain things, like once the songs come out into the world or otherwise, are a little less out of your control. So you just have to let it happen, let those children out of the world, and see how they grow from there.
For sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, Josh, I want to take a moment to thank you so very, very much for joining me here today on the Desert Tiger Podcast.
Thank you very much, bro. I appreciate it.